So, good evening, everyone. And I'd like to introduce Prakash Kumar. And Prakash has been working with SAP Labs for around 14 years, and before that, he was with the IBM Software Research Group. Um, and at present, he is working the role of Chief Development Expert at SAP. He is in charge of devising long-term strategy for his product area in SAP HANA Cloud. And his current role involves institutionalizing organizational value and building a high-performance engineering team. And he has received a number of awards in recognitions through SAP Labs India as a best manager. And on a personal note, I would say he loves to drive, and he has covered 1,000 kilometers in 7 hours. So yeah, over to you. Yes.
Okay, so good evening everyone. So, not sure what you learned from today. I thought give some key takeaways. Key takeaways will be thoughts. Thoughts with which you can do some more, with which you can probably do some more searches. Because everything what you find in my slide is what I also collected from it. So it's quite easy for anyone to come and talk. 1 hour you can collect the material from it. That's the whole thing. You all know it. Not infinity. What little bit you know. So the question is, do we deal with infinity? Or we don't deal with it? As a product process, whenever whichever organization, probably some of you are really practicing product process, are you dealing with infinity? So that's the question which I wanted to put forward to start with. But before I go to the actual slides, some disclaimers from my side. Please read. So, I may have some biases. Please excuse me for that. It is there in all of us, in one or the other form. But I will start with my career. So, I started my career in the year 2000. I joined the IBM Software Labs. It was a core, people call hardcore Windows program. I used to code with C++. That's when I started my career. In the year 2003, I moved to SAP. Remained a Windows program. But over the time, I played many roles. Being a senior developer, architect, expert, manager. I was a program director. And as of today, I'm leading an engineering team. And also, I'm playing the role of chief development expert, who has to work with a lot of you, the product managers, the program managers, the senior management, and define the long-term roadmap for product development. So, in my view, what will be the key takeaway is thinking. Thinking I define linear versus exponential. You'll also learn about some emerging trends. You may know about it, or you may learn something new. But what is it important for the product manager role is something I will try to connect from my side. And again, I will say that experience for that. I don't know product management because I do interact with a lot of product managers. And at the end, I will also share my experience, my view. So, to start with, let's search infinity. To search infinity, we have to understand what is infinity. So, any one of you would like to say what is infinity?
Having no rules something
So that's what has happened.
something very big.
What would be the smallest infinity?
Either way, that's what we have to small or big. We still don't know the limits of it. That's all.
So it depends upon your
So everything is true because infinity itself is abstract. And the smallest infinity could be the infinitely small space, 0. Or you define 0 is also with the use of infinity. That could be the smallest infinity. But infinity which I am talking about here is in terms of the population growth. This population growth is what drives industries, drives all of us, why we work, whatever we work, how it is going to be scheduled. That's the broad role on, that's the broad thing which we all work. Now, it's not only the population growth, it's also the growth in terms of connectivity. So, as you see, 7.5 billion is the population, little old data. That's what latest I could get. Out of which 3.2 billion people are online, connected. And out of which 2.4 billion are on social media. Now, in my view, product manager work with the market intelligence, first point, to get real demographic studies, the users, whatever we want to build or define or take it forward for any organization, who are going to use them? Who are they? Correct? And this is where it becomes very important that this is what is the one aspect of population today. And we need to search. Search what? Our infinity. So, what is this my infinity? Infinity is infinity. Can there be my infinity in that? And the answer is yes. That's my answer again. So, suppose I have two large containers, and in one of the container I put 10 balls. Every time I put 10 balls, you pick one. Oh, you put it in your container. You do it for infinite times, 10 balls. You pick one ball, infinite times. What is that you have? Your infinity. What is that I have? My infinity. Okay. So it's a concept of small infinity and large infinity, but leaving that apart in terms of products, in terms of product management, what I see is this is your population. You have to pick your population. You can call it as segmentation targeting, target positioning, or you call it as searching your infinity. It is you need to pick your infinity, and it is going to be infinite. Many times you yourself may not know how in different ways your software or different product which you work on will be used. Correct? Now, any exponential function is a function of infinite, it takes you to infinity. Exactly same thing has happened here. If you see the world population, 10,000 BC, what was it? 2 millions. And very first time we reached 1 billion, and when? 19th century. And thereon, it just took exponential. Last 50 years, all the population which you see today, 7 billion, is added in last 50 years. Now what does that mean? For me, again, lot of perspective which I am trying to give here is some from internet, some I built my own perspective on it. Any process, anything which was built 50 years back may not survive. And a lot which is already happening. We started seeing a lot of change in the world. Why? Because the people who made it didn't knew that this will happen. They didn't thought about this will be the phenomenon. Will it stop? Yes, it will stop. This is not about the environmental studies. This is not about the load on planet. This is not about the carbon footprint. This is all about the product management. And the product management, how my product is going to be used. So, many people tried, many conferences tried, but no one could define what is innovation. So, even today, if you try to search, which I did, I couldn't get one definition for innovation. But if something is closer, then it is how we make the invention commercialized. This is what people call as innovation. So what does that mean? It means something is commercialized. Could be product, could be services, could be many more things. Now, when it gets productized, obviously there will be consumers, obviously there will be users. Now, who will be there from this? Very important thing to study, or at least think through. Now, other side, what I have is how this population grew and where it will stop. So, statisticians from United Nations says almost at 11 billion it will stop. We have already hit the constantness in terms of number of births which is happening. So it is somewhere around 11 billion it will stop. It will not go further because there will be 2 billion people with 0 to 15 years age, and every 15 years this 2 billion will repeat and the old ones will move ahead. Now, this means that in last 30-40 years, whoever are born are today's decision makers. In every space, be it the government, be it public, private, they are the decision makers. Now, how they think, what they want, matters. Another term is they don't have time, they have money. 10 years back, 15 years back, before buying, or very good phenomena, just 5-6 years back, we didn't have these many smartphones. If I look at my own team, I see 1 or 2 people used to have smartphones around 2010, and by 2012, everyone had smartphones. You all also would have noticed this. Now, if I try to relate this and understand, today's kids are born with the phone. Now, if they are born with the phone and they interact with the phone very differently than how I do, how you do, then the question comes is whatever product you develop, whatever product you define, whatever product you take to the market, build the roadmap, work. Will it work the way you thought? Or should you change your thought process? And I'll cover same aspects later as well in this slide. Organizations are also tremendously pressurized, tremendously. The product managers or the chief strategy officer or the CTO all come brainstorm, build a nice strategy, nice program, nice thoughts, and overnight everything is gone. Correct? Happens. So all of us are tremendously precise on it, and that's why there is a need for changing the thoughts, and there are more disruptive thoughts which is there, more disruptive thoughts which is there. Elon Musk is changing the world even more further. Correct? So these kind of news keeps coming. From product management point of view, what it is a market intelligence. It is someone is studying the market, understanding the needs, understanding what kind of population you have, where you have aging population, where you have young population, working population. One small thought here, if I see all of a sudden what has happened in the last 5 years, that you have every single hospitals or pharmacy companies launching their home collection units. for every kind of checkups, blood test, vitamin test, this test, that test. What has happened? Why didn't they do it before? All because you have many retired people today. All because you have a lot of traffic on the road today. All because if you go to the hospital, you pay 500 to call a cab and reach there, but you call them home, which was not the case before. Now, is it only because there are more people who are retired? No. They are retired and they are having good disposable income. Correct? Who are these? These are the people who started their careers somewhere around 70s, 60s, and towards 2000, 2005. Most of them retired, and now they have money, enough money with which they can live a good life, okay? And not enough energy to be in the traffic or call for a cab and go to hospital for tests, but they need these medical tests regularly. Now, this is where you see lot of such services, diagnostics, or Veligare, or so many companies has come just recent time. So it was not a coincidence. It is well thought strategy, well thought management with which these companies have come out. So I'm not reading through this, but as promised, I will give you some thoughts to search through, and hope you will do that. So don't claim that all of you are hearing all this very first time. No, most of you would have gone through such session or such thought process before. But yes, it's still good to interact, good to speak some the perspectives which I have or which I have seen. Now, some more numbers, some more facts. So when I see So when I see 2012, you see internet users and the population shows there. Okay? And we also see how many of them were there on the social media. Organizations has a tremendous pressure because it's not the formal organization what we used to have is there. Along with the formal organization, today what we have is informal organization as well. And you'll find in large engineering teams, which is what is my experience. Within the team, you have so many groups, so many different organizations, the WhatsApp groups. Correct? And what they discuss there also matters. Somewhere it reflects on the whole team, the engagements. But what is important here is to see that almost 50% population is already online. We have more devices than the population. Definitely not new thought. We all know that number of times different apps are getting loaded is much more than the total population what we have. So we don't only download it once, we download it several times on several devices. When I myself look at a decade back, affording one internet connection was also difficult. When I see today, at least I have 4. All of you would be having also 4, 5, because every phone has its own connection. Every house will have at least one broadband. It just goes on. Everyone needs one. So what we'll do is not make it boring. The thought of making little interactive. So let's do something more than searching and finding. We'll come back to this topic a little later. So I see many of you have copies. Please write some innovations which you see around you, which has happened in recent times. Yes. Those who don't have copy can use mobile. So individual choices will be very different. How they see it will be very different. But just see whatever you think is innovation and mistakes.
So these are supposed to be recent innovations, any kind of whatever.
All your thoughts.
Oh,
So when NASA launched its first satellite, anyone heard this story? What was their computing power?
yeah, it was less than what we have as our half.
No, not half. It's just like what we have in our phone. That's all they had.
No, it was I think less than what is
Less than exactly.
Yes. What we have as
Less than what we have in our hand today. In terms of computing power, also in memory. They launched their first satellite. So that's not recent innovation, but that's also innovation. Okay, so this is not the exam. I heard you guys have tomorrow. Also did my management while being in job. I know what it is, what it means. I also used to attend classes like you guys did. I did my executive management from XLRI. 7 years now. For that also, time things. Okay, so whatever you guys thought or whatever you have written down, how many of them are falling in these? My gut feel says all.
Couldn't new and original be an invention rather than innovation?
So that's what I couldn't find the definition for innovation. I tried spending almost 15-20 minutes searching with all possible keywords, but I couldn't get it. The closest what I got was when you take invention and commercialize it, is what you call innovation. And that's how they distinguish between invention and innovation.
So, I think what you were saying, new and original could be purpose to solve a different problem.
Yeah, the point here is when invention is done, the inventor never think of how will it be used. Inventor never think of commercializing. They just invent it. Correct? And what we have here is never been seen, used, or even thought of before. So that means we are talking about product. And why I use this in term, instead of using these words like invention or innovation or any other such word, because I wanted to restrict myself in terms of product and product as well, and get established some relation with it. So it's product what I'm talking about. So, any one of you thought about anything which is not product? True. So any thought when they started? Roughly?
70, 60, 70.
Before independence, 70s.
70.
70s.
The
So,
efficiency of the building.
So 60s was when industrialization was happening in India. A lot of factories were getting set up. When factories started producing, had so many workers, they need food. That's when the system started. Yeah. So that's the point exactly which I wanted to build here. The product managers don't only work with product. They don't only have to define the roadmap for product. So the question is about what about incremental stuff? Because every time you do or you think of innovation, you think of something completely new. And you don't think that it's the same telegraph which has become what?
Email.
WhatsApp.
Yeah, messaging WhatsApp.
SMS.
It's the same technology actually. It's just kept on evolving. But we see it is completely new when we see mobile. But the actual product or idea was that was the probably invention.
That was the invention.
So there are incremental innovations in the product, but market sees it differently. There are lot of innovation in service, a lot which needs to be created in service. Personally, I would be happy if you don't create more products, you create better services. But yeah, service is one thing which is one story. When I was in my college, I wanted to work on something which my seniors did. They built a very nice robot which walked, but it couldn't lift, which was the actual intention behind building that robot in 1999. So I was really fascinated by seeing them, helping them, and I wanted to continue that. I wanted to take it next year and make that hand also working. The professors didn't allow. They don't allow anything which they see it is not new, not unique for your final year project. So in colleges or in different institutes, they say, okay, development is the only thing. Development support, not support, it's incremental. Okay. But a lot can be done in incremental.
But this is true for service because if I see my own industry or what I'm working in now, till say the last 5 years, the product was the overriding, say, revenue generator. But now it's completely flipped. Now service is the generator where it has reached more than 50%. And as per the projections for the next 5 or 10 years or even the next 50 years, it's only that service will be like a chunk of revenue generator for our industry rather than product.
So very good, you have been very well. So that's the point which I also wanted to drive here. Is every product development which is happening today is to see how we can serve better. It's to see how the service industry can make use of it better. We're not trying to create something completely new, completely different out of the world. Rather, we see how the consumption will be made better. Once
But a lot of companies are going with more of an automation where then providing a service as a product. How do you take that as?
So I'll also cover that. So good. I probably got some connection with you before. I have some slides towards that as well. So we'll come to that point. I'll park that as of now. But yes, what is happening is the consumption model is what being looked upon in all the industries, be it automobile companies. Important is not like how many automobile you produce. Important is who gives a better service. And when the question comes is where do you have more investment? Coming out with nice different design or coming out with some gadgets and different things which your consumption can be different, the field can be different. At the end, when these things have a problem, then how do you get it rectified? So what is the service? If the service is not good, definitely you are not going to buy that from that company again. It's not the old world in which we are living. When my father had one car or max two cars in his lifetime, I didn't know a decade before. Today I am driving my fifth car. I didn't know this a decade before. Also, the reason I travel from Lanka to Whitefield every day. So every 3 years, it's like process 50,000 and one or the other problem starts coming. So I thought it's better to change it. Okay, so the thought here is exactly the same. It's not on the product managers don't work only with the product, on the product roadmap. They also sometimes work with process, service, the incremental innovations, and also the management practice. So management practice is something is also ignored. Without management practice, it is very difficult to do product management or development or anything else. Even running this class, there is a lot which needs to be done to run this class. Management practice is also quite important. So we continue. Now the question is, where is my infinity? So we are back on infinity. I have no answer. I still don't understand infinity. But as a product manager, you have to understand your infinity somewhere. And this infinity is the people who are going to use your product. And you have all different kind of people. So specifically, when I pick this picture, you see you have some physically challenged people also there. You have young, old, male, female, all kind of opposites. You have to find your infinity. But it's what you have. All this technologies are very advanced. All the market intelligence data. But this is definitely infinite. Calling at 115 million websites there, you're able to define, but then it is actually infinite. One good comparison would be to understand that human mankind till date, from 10,000 BC or whichever time, how many books were written, that many books gets produced every day. Sorry, every year. So estimate says that every year in the world we have 10,000 books getting published every year. So why is that happening? Any idea? All of a sudden your population didn't become very intellectual. Something changed. You didn't thought. Recently my wife also published a book. It's very easy. It's very easy. You have the self-publishing options, and you have the social network. So, 5,000 rupees if I have, I write something, I can publish, and I have the social network. Yeah, correct. 5,000 also I get it back, and I also become author. Isn't it? You have Koki.com, you have Depress, you have so many websites, everything online. Anywhere. If you have some content, you can submit it there. They help you out with some editing, and then in a month time it's published. So that's how the world is working. Each one of this is product. Now, if suppose I publish this book, what is it? It's a product. Okay? So publishing is very easy, very easy. Now, all this data which you see is very easy. Building a website is not at all a problem. It's a 5-minute job. Talking about the website, people are talking about building a robot is a 5-minute job. Me, coming from some background and core programmer, always kept myself close to technology, and I've not worked with Android. But if anyone asks me how long will it take you to build an Android app, my answer will be 2 to 3 hours max. Because you have it in YouTube, and just follow as it is. Click here, click here. Do this, write this code. In 2 hours, when this YouTube video is over, the app is also over. So the information is also that simple to have. And this is where I say anyone, not me having 17 years, 18 years of experience in this industry, having some thoughts collected from different interactions which I had, anyone can come and talk. Anyone. But what will not change is the ability, cognitive ability. That's not changing. That's going to continue. And that is what will decide, will someone go for your product or not go for your product. Correct? Do they connect with your product or don't connect with your product? Now, so I was thinking more about it, and I thought maybe I'll use some SAP example here. A very simple example of SAP is we serve 21 different industries, several LOBs, line of businesses. Now, if we create a product, suppose create a product to sell from my stock. Okay. How will this be done in different industries? Are very different. You have someone who is producing something which has perishable inventory, safety stock, 0. You have someone who is producing these steels. If you don't have safety stock, gone. My father being a metallurgical engineer and working throughout his life in a steel plant, I can tell you, setting down a steel plant is very easy. You can do it. But if you have to start it again, it takes 1 year. Full year. Start a furnace. Doesn't happen overnight. So if you don't have a safety stock, and there is some environmental, political, some situation, you're lost. The only option you have is to close down. And like this, when I think about a lot of such examples which I can talk about. So what is infinity here? So infinity here is basically just like how many chairs would be here in this room?
60.
60, 50. And suppose we have 50 people. Then in how many ways 50 people can occupy these 50 chairs? And any idea how big is the number? Siri? Anyone using Siri? Say 50 factorial. It's a very big number. So, normal calculator, I can tell you, if you do 3 times factorial, you get a stack overflow. On your phone, you can try, you get a stack overflow. I tried for 200 factorial, and having 200 different combinations being applied for 200 different business functions, not so far off thing. It's like something which was there from last 30 years. To produce 1 million ton of steel plant uses 3 million tons of raw material. How many combinations? Every automobile companies, if you see, every 50,000 they have a variant. How do they manufacture? They have separate plants, separate production lines for each of them. And then you try out all these permutation combinations, you get infinity. Very, very, very easy. Then the question comes, how do you test it? Because now you are not only developing the product, you are trying to also think about what are my boundary conditions, what are my different aspects. Thomas?
3 point whatever 10 power 64.
200 factor? So 200 factorial has got 375 digits. At least.
Yeah, 7.8 10 to the power 374.
So it's a 325 digits, a long number. It's the 200 factorial. So we deal with infinity every day without really realizing it. And all of these are something which is reality, which is happening. Now, there is something more. And what is more? Is if you see the data which was produced was not even 1 gigabyte. Gigabyte is 10 to the power 21. What is going to be produced in coming days is this much. This is the change of last 7 years. And people were saying that this data itself was equivalent to the data which human mankind has produced. Now, market intelligence will give you all data. The predictive analytics softwares are there which will give you all data. But yet you have to find it. If you cannot, maybe you will miss out your STP. Something in your STP analysis. Now, what more? Companies are claiming that humans should never drive a car. I will still drive. They're saying humans are not safe, they should not drive the car. Humans are thinking, will it ever be true? Will it ever happen? Google and all, Tesla and all these companies are saying no, humans should never touch the steering. And if that is going to happen, and in some part of the world it's already happening. Recently I was reading one HBR article, and it says by 2030, in India we will not have petrol and diesel cars. No, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. But the pace of change is that. Pace of change is that. And also, like I will say, 2007, I did one case study on Maruti Udyog. And the moderator who moderated the whole discussion in the group, the final conclusion came as Maruti should have a variant in every 50,000. And in 3 years, I saw that it's happening. So many of us are also not driving this world. It's the some professors there from the institute. They are the ones who are driving. They are writing this case studies. They are inserting that the operational waves. They know what's next. And a lot which is already invented, innovated, but they know when to bring it in the market. They just don't teach us, but they have very high experience, very rich experience. And they keep providing the consulting to all the organizations. So what will happen is just 25 cell-driven car will create as much data in 1 year as the entire written works of market.
So you see, after the data is being created, more than pollution from the car, that means you consider that you don't need electric, you should have self-driving on the existing cars. I think maintaining the data and really having to pull all your servers, I think is going to be a bigger problem for the environment than having the cars itself.
So,
I mean, it's like,
Companies are thinking of creating their data centers in
yeah. So now, I think managing the data center is a bigger problem now than the emissions that is coming out of the car.
so partly true, but not exactly. The technological evolution is also there. That's quite high. It's quite high. Capability has increased. Not exactly, but we'll see it in the next slide. So technology is also evolving. The more is not it's again the reality.
So we already hit the barrier on it. Intel is not able to proceed. I mean, it's going to take a big leap for them
is actually happening is not every data you store it. So if you try to search for YouTube videos for self-driving cars, has a very powerful camera, very powerful camera. Constantly rotates and gets every microsecond of information from all around. And process it then and there itself. It's not something which is sending it to the cloud or whichever data centers.
What is that?
Camera. Cameras. So a lot which is getting processed then and there itself. So that's the technological advancement which is helping us here of not doing the data storage in the same way how we were doing it before. You would have heard of this Higgs boson experiment, finding that Higgs boson particle. Lot of progress, lot of news. But any thought how much data is produced from this experiment is out? So what I heard, so every second there is a terabyte of data is created, which like in a minute becomes petabytes, exabytes, I don't know how much in the hour.
But you don't store all, it's like
Just few megabytes. So what is important to understand from this example is that system has got capability to process that much data in no time. So in a second that much data gets created and in a second that much small amount gets filtered. And all these technologies are getting used at different places. In fact, most of the process and products which we see around were developed during the World War II. Military is always not ahead than the actual commercial market. And slowly it comes to the commercial market. Also, there are patent laws, intellectual property laws, which not allows everything to come to the market so fast. Or even if it comes, it's very costly. But yes, the point here is that there will be some issue to environment. The good news is 11 billion they will plant. The newborns are already flat. You have 2 billion babies, that's going to continue.
Not only cars, trying to connect things. You're already saying 7 million. You said half of them are already connected, right? So
all of them will be connected. No time almost. So okay, we'll not continue on that discussion, but I'll leave at that note. Some people are even thinking in 5 years will there be a civil war? Because we all will also lose our job. Everything which you can think of, robot can do. Everything, every job, right from a painter to author to writing a piece of software to plan, everything can be done by robots. Doctor, lawyer, everything. Whatever. So manufacturing industries has already hit the ground. Those who have some experience in manufacturing industry and have seen it a decade before, seeing it today, already see the change.
That's it. We have a lot of our businesses that manufacture only using robots because that's the easiest way of faster.
And this is a decision.
That's the biggest.
Biggest requirement.
Robots will manufacture robots.
Tomorrow what we will eat may be 3D printed. Almost. Yes, they are investing in it. Government also investing in it. I know there is an organization called TIFA. TIFAC. So this is TIFAC. So it's a think tank for our country. So decade back, more than a decade back, Abdul Kalam was heading this organization. You all would have heard of Vision 2020. So by 2020, what technology will come to our country is actually decided by this organization. What I know of, also had a nice opportunity to meet with a current director of Taiwan. He is doing a lot of things. We are building on Vision 2035. He always said it's his goal, overall as verbatim. But tomorrow, if you eat something, maybe it will repeat.
But I think there's already some things which are
A lot of things, lots of things, lot of things. Right from
now limiting price and all is already
but that is one, but year kidney. Everything is getting predicted. Just open it here. So, I don't have the internet. I don't have the internet here, but this was open. This is internal corporate portal what we have at SAP. The data analytics is what is going to give us a better health, more life. People do, and all these are real things. It's not like imaginary. Company like SAP is helping these companies doing such research. Okay, so continue from here. Now, what we do at SAP, we try to run something. What is complex? That's part of infinities. And we also have these infinities, but we are trying to simplify. In fact, a lot which we have already simplified. So, this is taken from SAP event. Something which was said for years ago. So, if you see, just few years back, for ERP on any DB, we had a 7.1 terabyte of data. And it was not workable. We cannot be connected, we cannot have access to real-time data. And there are batch processings which will go on for a week and then still it's a report, and then it takes a decision on this report. So what we did is we did change a lot. We implemented HANA in the database. We changed everything around HANA. What HANA do is it stores the data in a different form than doing it in the traditional row-wise storage. Why? Because for ERP systems, one single table had 200 columns, and all these columns are not used. And if it would have been used, then you never needed where clause in your SQL. So at a time, only 20-30 are used. But when you store the data in the row wise, what happens is at the end somewhere the data is stored in the memory, which is physical. So it comes in a chunk. And when you have to process this data, you have to go through this. So now if you need only these three, yet you have to process. So one of the founder of SAP, he also runs his institute. He is also a chairman of SAP Advisory Board. So he, together with other colleagues in his institute, invented this HANA database, which is then productized by SAP. In HANA DB, we store it in a column wise. So when we store it in a column wise, what happens is the same thing. I have it here. Does it have a disadvantage? Yes, it has a disadvantage. If you have ever access to 100, more profitability. But with this, what has happened is we made a possibility to have access to a real-time data. So what is happening is something I can see from the dashboard. We built a real-time dashboards. You can actually see how things are moving, how Google shows you where you have a traffic. SAP can also see several cities which have implemented SAP solutions. Monitor the city and moving population in city. These are things which you can search. And this is how the world is changing. Possible. So we have to do a fundamental change in the architecture. Unless until we don't do that, we cannot, because the bottleneck was what? The CPU and moreover, the processing capability went up, number of cores went up. You can do not only multi-threaded problem, but you can also do multi-core problem. So what is the use? At the end, when you are going to access something from others, and that is going to take lot of it. So you needed everything to come in memory. So we call our database as in-memory database, wherein everything is in memory. The whole enterprise data doesn't matter how large is the enterprise. Whole enterprise data can be in memory and can be processed here. Now, once this is done, what more? You have to define the digital code. You have to redefine our whole product structure. And we have to, what SAP do is always develop the ERP tools. Even the SAP has a lot of platforms. Why these are there is all because we need it from our own consumption. We can't be dependent on others. So the question comes is, we have the business tool. What do we do with this business tool? Unless until we don't leverage on the potential and capability which we got with us, what we had is not going to be useful. And then we cannot explore more. So what is more is the Internet of Things. Internet of Things is another phenomenon which is changing things all around, and changing it at very fast pace. Very, very fast pace. So I want to small slide for that also, we will see that. So what SAP focus on is the cloud, real-time data processing, connections, keeping the things connected, be it a supplier network or workforce or the SAP acquired Concur sometime back, which is in the travel space. Many of you probably would have used it. And that's also integrated. So it's not that you because you post some, you book some flight, you post some expense. Now it has to reflect in the organizational financial status. And, if you see that, how will you do that? Large organizations, how do they manage when they have thousands and thousands of such expenses? So if you do it over the batch processing, it's difficult. Why? Because everyday business is changing. When I heard about demonetization, I said no. Every note it is written, but I know to pay this price. By whom the RBI governor, how can we demonetize? It just couldn't believe it. And I hope many of you also believe it. It is true, it has happened. And if it has happened, something has to change. And lot of business are forced to change overnight. We also have an example for that. We also work with predictive analytics, with machine learning, and platform. So we build our own platforms. Yeah.
Real-time data processing, what is the rate how fast?
Incomplete. So it's like the CEO of Nestle can sit in his table with a digital dashboard there and can see how many. So can say how much or how goods are on road? How many of them are flight in the air? How many are there just floating on the sea? And now there is a change in some countries' policy, they can redo. So it's a blink of eye, it's a real time.
So I just wanted to get an insight because we've been working on these kind of platforms and taking data. This is thing that's always in there. So I think the point that you made about not all data going to the cloud, that is makes sense. You can't put everything on the cloud. So take an example of the driverless car. So if there's no driver conversation was being like that. So I'm still trying to understand this. You will not push everything to the cloud because you're going to really think that. But some of those decisions, you may do a lot of processing like or fog computing, right? Something that you do in the gateway or in the car, which means there will be some decision because it's self-driving car. Some decision it has to wait for from this kind of data center, whatever it is, from the analytic platform.
So definitely you see the
how can they be handled? So that's the result. It's on the road. It's not about a boat which is there in a ship or in a flight or in a road. It's about decisions that have been made in those cars. So can it handle those kind of things?
answer is yes, can handle. So the important there is not to see that what kind of data it is. Important is to see that there is a technological evolution which gives you all capability which you can think of. Now, how you want to use it is your choice. What you want to post is your choice. But there is a capability, there is a potential which can process things. That is important to do.
At the end of the day, if you rely on the network, that is not reliable. We have, I'm just trying to understand, can we have this kind of things applied to those kind of applications where we do some amount of processing locally?
Network is very reliable. Network is very reliable. When did you send your last SMS which didn't reach? What's up? Any message you posted and didn't got delivered. Network is very reliable. So now even when we don't have single money, we still depend on the still reliable.
A few things we can a little bit faster.
Sorry. Yeah, we can definitely talk about, but the thought here is not what can be done, what cannot be done. The thought is we are really thinking a lot. What say Elon Musk is talking about, you see that it's not talking here. He has that info. That's what is the whole point here. So the question is a little more different, and I will come with more disruptive thought, which is there in our next slide. So we have Internet of Things, we have devices, we have big data, social networks, all wants to link, and all are linked also in business suite. We call it next generation business suite. It's for now. It's the right suite, it's what we have released. So if you want, I can talk more about it. So if time permits, we can come back and I can talk more about it. But to tell you very frankly, SAP thrives on its community. What it means is SAP always believed, decade back as well as half a century back, on developer community and partner community. And SAP invests a lot in building that. So every information which you can think of, which is accessible for the developers inside SAP, also available for the developers outside, or even outside. SAP also believes in every person on this planet is somewhere SAP user, And SAP has already created a system where it has assigned one cloud identity to all of them. Every single warehouse cloud. That means you all have access to every resource which a developer can have, and a lot of videos, lot of things. Because the point here is that the complete end-to-end business can be executed as well as connected with the outside world, so that we get the insights very quickly. So we are focusing on redefining the reality as we go in what SAP to develop a lot of other things, but our focus remains that whatever we do, we see whether choose the reality. So while doing that, it's not the company which works only with the ERP, but it's also the company which works with every possible technology which one can think of. But without growth of the community, the developer community and the partner community, what SAP has is the open.sap.com, place where we can get every information which we have, which one can be able to work as a project manager or a developer or as an architect or whatsoever role you can think of. Because if I see inside SAP, we have few thousands of developers. If I see outside SAP, there are millions of developers who work on SAP technologies. Okay, so just now example, I talked about demonetizing. What happened to the mobile payment business? So mobile payment businesses, in 2016 they were here, and they thought 52020, this is what will be their market, size of market. And all the product plan were done based on that, everything was in place, and what happened? This two online. So that's how it changes. That's how the industry changes. So now you have an opportunity to be 10 times bigger or don't have anything in between. There are companies which definitely use this as an opportunity. But what would the product managers do? And this is why it is so important to think so diverse. Traditionally, product managers, or anyone needed most fundamentally the product knowledge skill, the analytical skill to any job. Product managers specifically has to see if they can bring chaos to order. Because people like your product only for a day. Next page is okay. Chaos to order. So when is a chaos order referred back to the product users? You need discipline or explain or writing products. You get so many feedbacks. Which one you order? Bring order to bring order to the fundamentals. So the role is very challenging. The challenge is probably making you more happy. But yes, there is a challenge. These are the kind of challenges also. It doesn't start here. So if you see, you have to do it for post-study. There are many different ways to do it for post-study. Especially, how much time I have here? 15 minutes. So, feedback that was given. Let's focus here. So I know you are looking less, but I'll try to finish 15 minutes. So very important point which I wanted to make here in this time. That's why we needed some focus here. Because you know what world is thinking today. I cannot think of even today. But regardless of it, is all these are the parameters, some tangible, some intangible parameters on which you build your product strategy. You come out with, you do this thing, you do this thing. But see this. Some of the people are thinking, the money which you use is for us. Basically, which you are using will work on us. The reason which you are using to say that will work on us. And that's the one they do. That's the one they do. So, the space tourism has become really back. But today, Stephen Hawking just few weeks back said that we should travel much faster. 5 years we should have a certain which can take mass after people to move. But those who have got chance to do that. Elon Musk is also talking the same. Why do they talk like this? What they don't know to do? What more?
Just touching the moment. Touching the moment.
What's
His body needs rest. Before the CEO was there, he wanted to management.
so what if you know tomorrow there is some astronomical things coming and going to it? What are we going to do? Last since has not happened several thousands and millions more. But again, those are not the thoughts. Thought coming back which I wanted to give is linear thinking is not the way forward. And if you think that's the way forward, this is sorted. That one will change. And it will be very, very hard to learn some of the things within the out of it. It's doing it. And I was never going to do it. She doesn't mind. She always feels like silly thing, whatever she doesn't mind. I even don't mind. So changing a lot. So tools are important. Understanding the intangible parameters involved finding a strategy. Often we get into finding out which tools will we use, which tool will make my job simple. There are many tools. Conceptual. Then this one, the many tools, also has its own complexity and findings. How is that so important? Considering the right parameters is important. That cannot be done. Cognitive ability is get from the today's times are good and something. So, this means how is it to get the chance to do. So, what are we, real job? So, one thing which can say is that there is an infinity in front of us. Knowing you and unknowing you every day. Second, we see that it's a disruption which has come through the technology. Third, which is my job, what do I do with this? And ninth, learn to manage paralysis. Ninth, that is what you will deal with in your job. What are these paralysis? Backward and outside inside, into see. Problem solving, make it innovative. So you do something new, so you do the architectural tools. What will be the name before? Innovation do it in an organized way, or keep it open. If you do it in an organized way, what it means in terms of responsibility. So responsibility versus freedom. So these are the paradoxes you have to deal with every interaction. Somewhere, not somewhere, very famous, very famous, very frustrating management, marketing management, very useful. So you define purpose of any organization is to create, communicate, deliver value and profit. Beautiful difference. Didn't miss anything. Create, communicate, deliver value and profit. Now, create, communicate, deliver value and profit. The development organization I work with only one thing. The product manager work with each need. So their interaction with different stakeholders is quite high. Actually, all of these paradoxes what I could think of when I thought I was thinking of these things that I should take this as these are some of the experiences. So these are the things which I thought will define how you perform your job. And it irritates. It does irritates. So the product manager will feel what kind of way is not broken again. I'm also looking the same. And that's what is the daily every time you watch people. Because they heard something from customers and they just sit on my head, do it. My team are ready to do it. How do I do it? No, so it doesn't work that way. How it works is to simplify. The organization has to work with the same purpose, create, communicate, deliver, value. If single word is missing, organization cannot sustain. Just cannot sustain. So that's why I said beautifully defined. So excellent professionals and companies learn what the management paradoxes. Creative ability to balance the lesson value. I wanted to say something more on this lines. This was to someone from Europe. It's not here. So we also have this innovation value. There is a nice book on innovation value. The chairman did. This person who wrote a book on innovation value. His claim is that good successful company will innovate regardless. What he did is he got him on stage in front of all of us, debated, made all of us to learn, and this is what happens in the Okay, so I am not going to talk more about it. So next comes is the part of the strategy. Back after the analysis. When to innovate. So we started with groups. We got the growth, got the maturity, decline, right? Now, when you ask this question, and the common wisdom will say, innovate every second. Every day. But can you manage such an analysis? So, can you start in the introduction stage? Can you start in the growth stage? Or should you start somewhere else? And then mobile banking example is also true. So there are tricks. The tricks are there is a gap. The gap is what product manager experience is the engineering team's experience. What engineering team experience is not what product manager experience. So always you will find data, information, and knowledge. Knowledge is nothing but what you experience. If you are not experienced, you can talk. We have the information. don't have knowledge. And there is always a gap. Always a gap. So, very basic fundamental question how came to distribute this part is that you do this, but you want to scale. Something which I was executing in a synchronous way, requesting that you want to execute in a synchronous way. What it means is I had a SAP server, some cloud platform, and in that cloud platform I had to add computing units. This computing unit I had to add for not only scalability but also for elasticity. No one is ready to give me that budget to pay for it if I make it started. Also now to define the elasticity. So what I did is I created some, I added 6 different data centers, I added 3 computing units on this data center, and created the used 576 threads in parallel. Computing units which have 16 GB memory, pretty good. Use it. Now they said, release it. Very next release. This one we have quarterly release. So they're also forced to sort of the release schedules. The question comes is how do we do that? If I do that, then as a head of engineering team, can't maintain. 5 I can remember on this server, what is running, what is which customer is connected, what is hosted. Easy. But 50, 48 computing units, so I cannot release unless until I have the dashboard ready. This gives me the insight on the business. What product managers will say? You say tomorrow. And if you don't do, they go and say to the strategy officer, whosoever is will be sales head is the office, whatever he says will happen. They say this much $1 million bill is spending because they are not this. So it's tricky. Now, tricky is what? Bottom line, top line. And that's what is the whole discussion all about. Short term, long term, responsibility. This is the true value. Because if I release and my maintenance cost is going to increase, that creates what it is. And like this. So at the end, I also added earth mass. That's my new level which is going to come up. I don't know. But as of today, from my ability, I couldn't believe this. That something of this kind, we are ready, we are prepared to do. But what I know for sure is gold is thinking. Nanotechnology, computing power, all this has changed a lot. Now they have technology to guide a medicine, specific medicine, a specific cell which needs to be can guide to all the cameras, wireless, and all these things. Okay, so how we do it at SAP is we use design thinking. Everything what we do is we use design thinking. And you can run through it. We always want a prototype delivered. We have always planned ideally plan each sprint to have some usable software and get the other feedback. So I wanted all of you to so why this is important? I've covered many concepts of product management. Why? General management experience. But one thing which I have not covered until now is the product managers also have to be honest. Just to work with market engineers, planning, organizing, with stakeholder management. But they are the one who define the users, which users do how they will use. Users just for how it's them to work on defining because they are the one who already all in the framework connect the outer world, inner world, all these things. Now, SAP UI evolution. So what has happened is when I joined SAP, we were here. And more specifically, the tree what you see here, somewhere in the backside, maybe there somewhere that are coded with some comment. The tree control and many of these controls is code writing. So this is what we are starting. So we improved a lot. We built this nice UI file, HTML file, which UI file is a series of HTML file. We built a nice import of real good UI today. This came up just last week. So this company came forward, like this, there are many more companies who says that they all overwhelmed with these many things. And what we like is necessary. Correct? So what has happened? This is how our softwares are being used. Where is it doing? What did we do? Spend so much of money, roadmap, and policy, and it's still used.
So we came up finding the test method. It's a test method.
And it's changing very fast. So I'm not saying that it's finally a text message. Still we have 80% users, 70% users. But there are thoughts, there are problems, there are companies. It's very difficult. And why all this is happening is because of this whole this of so many minds. So many minds. So different. So we have built the platform product with this you can monitor every single parameter of it through IoT. Everything is there. But users wise, it's just this. There's a problem. Most task takes the action. Not only SAP. I thought what would be a better example. Other than that, you also have seen on topics and we need to start from just like this train itself was an anybody decade before. Now what we do? It's before. He says children of all very public new level. What he gets is this. Right. And next sentence what he says Katham, which means starts with thought process. The question is product which I define, whatsoever it is. Ready for it. Because technology is ready. Not only that, I learned recently radio project. Every single radio station of this world, of this planet, you have access. And you never know. People listen to Bangalore radio or Japanese. But it's true. So it's not like something which is far off, which is good to see, get some excitement. No. My view, the world is really changing very fast. Pace of changing very fast. Right? This is where, in my view, I see there is a need for responsibility. So how people order the pizza? And every company is coming out with all this innovative way in doing it. So what is it? CD UI, CD universal. These are the words when you speak from the city or whatsoever you use, is it? There's no lot to process. What was it? Okay, it's a simple automatic conversation. Giving you by but it's so engaging. So engaging. So there is my infinity was question. Wanted to do it itself. I don't think they were we have been to 15 minutes. Draw a straw, divide it, four spelling mistake, 4 equal parts. I try to see what thoughts, what ideas come in. But what happens is we keep on thinking what, as long as we keep thinking what, actually we not able to engage. We have to simply question from what to what. We do that, the idea is, as well as of course, but important thing is not dividing a straw in one way. So all these could be the possibilities. But you see something, what is happening? What is happening is there is a pattern, stuck to that pattern. And since you are stuck to that pattern, you cannot move it. You have to challenge your pattern. And next time you are getting the idea, a bit off. No, this is not what we will do. It's pattern. Think little different and get this. Now you are already different. Because if you can do this, you can also do this. If you can do that, don't do it again. Think different ways. Think of another way. And make 100 by 100 and then color 25 randomly. Four equal parts. And now you again hit another infinity. Now I think of another way. What I can do is I can give a mathematical equation. Suppose this is A. My E square equal to 3 pi r square plus pi r square. It says that the 3 surface area and remaining area is also equal to 3 surface area. Then I can draw triangle, so we have written the other. But the idea is not this. The idea is to break the pattern. Unless until that pattern is not to so that's the exercise which I wanted to do. Do it together, you don't have a time, and validate the results. To add some value, or to give some keywords, to give some thoughts. If not, still one thought for sure, that is mass.